Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com. I want to remind you to go to my website, TalkToProfit.com, and sign up for my newsletter so you can be kept up to date with all the books and videos and things that I'm coming out with. Also, if you're interested in coaching, you need someone to walk alongside you and help build you up and hold you up as you're attracting and benefiting and blessing people in this life, then please make sure to sign up for my coaching. Today I want to talk to you about vibration. This is a very confused issue in many people's minds because while some people have this idea that what you're vibrating is what's attracting things to you, that it's bringing all these things to you. And then others dismiss vibration altogether and say, well, it doesn't matter. It's not what you vibrate. It's just whatever you plant in the subconscious mind. And the people who say that you don't even need to worry about vibration, meanwhile they talk about things like mental diets and all this stuff. And so they're in the same, they use other words to describe the exact same thing. But all these people seem to be confused about the purpose of it. They tend to, either if they're for or against it, they tend to think that it's talking about manipulating people or drawing things from outside of you. Well, no, that happens naturally. But the vibration you're in, and I deal with this in my book, Co-Creators with God. So if you want to have more detail on this, get that book because I deal with vibration in one of the chapters and how it works and how you attract things and how your vibration relates to all this. But your vibration, basically in regular human language, you talk about your mindset or your mood even. That's basically your vibration. But what it is not something that's like a signal going out and it's pulling things back to you. It's more like you tuning into a certain frequency that then allows you to benefit the things that exist in that frequency. So I always use the radio example. You tune in to 101.1 in my area, you get a classical music station. So you benefit from the classical music on that station. That's what you get. That's within that frequency. You're in that vibration. If you tune into another station, you would get a different type of music. You wouldn't get the same music that's on the other station. And so that's what vibration is. It's not about attracting people or manipulating people or anything like that. Anything is telling you to manipulate people or that no one really exists except for you, or you're just other people, or just you pushed out, and all this kind of stuff where it's essentially manipulating and a very bizarre delusional form of manipulation. No, you're not doing any of that. When you get in that vibration, it opens the door for you to experience all those things. But here's the important thing. As with that radio frequency, the radio frequency is always there. It just takes you tuning into it to experience it. But you could always have had the classical music from 101.1 if you had tuned into it. But as long as you weren't tuned into it, you didn't get it. But it was always there. That frequency was always there. And so with you, when you vibrate at a certain frequency, those things, those opportunities, the blessings, even the people who otherwise wouldn't have came into your life, you are now on that path to experience all those things. Essentially, God has placed before you life and blessing, or death and cursing. Your vibrational state is you choosing at that moment in time life and blessing or death and cursing. So it's my prayer that you will choose life and blessing. Enter into that vibrational state so you can receive the goodness of God in your life. All the blessings and the good things. Hopefully, if you're vibrating at the right frequency, you're not vibrating at a low frequency of anger and hate and all these things that everybody recognizes, unless they're the most delusional of delusional. Everybody recognizes if you're angry and hateful and nasty, that your life naturally has a lot more bad things happen in it than if you're someone who's nice and kind and positive and thoughtful. We all recognize that. That's basic stuff. And there's all kinds of variables that affect why that happens. But in the end, the basic thing is when you're vibrating at that level, whatever the level is, that is what the path you put yourself on to experience those things that are in that vibration. And so I describe it more like paths because this makes it easier to visualize what is going on. So when you're vibrating at a certain level, so you're high vibration, you're positive, then you're on that path that has those things, those positive things. But you can, with a moment's notice, say, I start feeling depressed and sad and demotivated, and you instantly are pushing yourself onto another path. These are all like basically parallel paths, like frequencies. 101.1, below that is 101.0. This is why people sometimes can be positive one moment, and then when they're negative the next moment. And it seems like, oh, well, I'm just attracting these things when I'm negative, or I'm attracting these things when I'm positive. But it's not so much attraction, even though that is part of what's going on. That is a law in God's universe. But it's that when you get in that vibration, then those things that are already in existence, already around, and some things that are coming into existence, now will be attracted to you. There is a part of the law of attraction in that. But it's not you manipulating or making these things happen, or these people talking about, well, they're manifesting all this stuff. Well, no, these things were already in existence. You have just now put yourself in the right position. Now, there may be times of manifestation, but not everything that happens to you is a manifestation. You know, there's people talk like that. I manifest thousands of things, and their lives are pathetic. If that's your manifestation, something's seriously wrong. Everything that happens to you is not just some manifestation. There are other living beings, and no, you're not the same as someone else, even though people like to pretend that that's the case. Part of that is because it creates a delusion where people then need that certain teacher, because they're creating these cognitive dissonances that where people, they know these things aren't really right, but they want to believe them. So then you have to have that teacher to talk you through all the inconsistencies and contradictions and delusions to keep you going down that path that you like. But it doesn't need to be complex. It doesn't need to be confusing and weird and strange and abstract. It's very simple. There are all kinds of vibrations out there. Infinite, basically. We know this on a basic scientific level. Your human body vibration, if it goes down, it's a sign of sickness and illness. We have brain frequencies. We know about there's vibrations in everything, including the spiritual world. So to someone to say, this vibration doesn't matter, of course it does. Your physical body gets a low vibration, you're sick, and that's not good, and no one likes that. And if it gets too low, you're dead. We all recognize that. No one wants to be at that vibrational level, so let's not pretend like these things don't exist. What we need to do is understand how they exist and how to best use them to bless our own lives, obviously. No one wants their own life to be miserable, and bless the lives of others. All this talk about manipulating people and attracting your special person or specific person or whatever, and all these things that are just weird forms of witchcraft, basically. Trying to manipulate people, send your vibration out there so you can pull them back. That's basically a magical spell, and that's not what's going on in life. And even if it could, you could make money robbing a bank, but that's not the way to go through life. Now, thankfully, most of that stuff doesn't even work at all, and if it does, it's a random coincidence and the people attribute it to their vibration pulling people back. Well, that's not what's going on. You're not manipulating people. And if you are, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to live a life like that? What you want to do is to be the best person you can be, to bless the most people you can bless. And you'll do that by being in the right vibration. Not because your vibration is manipulating other people, not because it's things external to you that are being tweaked and manipulated because of your vibration, but because there's always those things there, and you're getting in line with it to be able to receive those blessings. And you do this under God through His blessing and power. This is why the scripture tells us in Philippians 4:8 about thinking on things that are of good report and just. When you're in that mindset, that positive vibration, you have put yourself on the path to be in tune to those good things. So you don't have those evil things coming on. You don't have all this negativity and trash. But see, here's what some people do. They'll be positive. They'll be in a high vibrational state. But then they're reading the news. Then they're watching television, or they're listening to their coworkers babble about some awful hurricane or whatever. And beyond just informational, it's getting into fear and oh, those poor people, and then they wonder why they're not living the life they want to live. But I'm in high vibration. I don't understand. Well, you're reading trash, the news. You're listening to negativity, and you're poisoning that. And while you think you're in high vibration, you're really in a low vibrational state. Or you've switched from it to this low vibrational state. This is why it's very important that the very last few hours of your day are very high vibration. This is one of the reasons why the scripture says to not let the sun go down upon your wrath. You don't need to be in that mindset when you're going to sleep, that you're negative and depressed and sad and down and fretting and anxious or whatever. All those low vibrational states. You don't want to be in that. You want to be uplifted, thinking about the good things, the blessings, the things of good report. If there be any praise, think on those things. Because by thinking on those things, you put yourself in the vibrational state to receive the blessings that are in that high vibrational state that you otherwise won't receive because you're not tuned into them. It's not about manipulating anybody. It's not about taking from someone else or seeing them as not really existing or any of these kind of weird manipulative tactics that people have. It's about you being the best you could possibly be, thinking the best you could possibly be, and blessing people the most you possibly can. Now, my friend, if you have any questions about vibration, vibrational states, mindset, all these things, please leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer them. I want to be a blessing to you. I know there's a lot of confusion out there because people see this documentary and then they're talking about vibration and manipulating people. Other people on the other side are saying, well, there's no vibration, or it doesn't really matter because there's nothing outside of you, and all these weird, bizarre things where they want to be the center of attention. And the reality is these things aren't true. All you gotta do is look at these people's lives and their testimonies against them that obviously they don't work. Don't let people drag you along down a delusional path. Understand that you need to be in the right mindset. You don't need to be negative. And people trying to justify their negativity and their anger and their hatred and their malice and their bitterness by trying to dismiss vibrations altogether, because then they can feel good about being sad and miserable and all these things. Why would you want to be that? Even if you didn't believe, why would you want to be miserable? Why would you want to be sad and angry and all these things? It doesn't make any sense. Don't let people mislead you. See what works best for you. I wrote a book called The 7-Day Positivity Diet. It deals with Philippians 4:8 in detail. If you follow that verse of scripture, your life will be better. You will feel better. Your mindset will be better. Your vibration will be better. Everything will be better for you. So my friend, I pray this was a blessing for you. Get yourself in a high vibrational state. Not to manipulate people, not to delude yourself or anything like that, but to be that person who receives the goodness of God, receives the blessing of God in your life, and imparts it to others. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.